Good morning, students. Today I would like to share a short story of the donkey in the well. Once upon a time, a farmer's old decrepit donkey fell in the abandoned well. The farmer, thinking that the donkey and the well were both past their usefulness, decided to fill the well in and bury the donkey. He called his neighbors to help him, and all began throwing shovelfuls of dirt into the well. At first, the donkey cried and brayed as it realized what was happening. But after a few minutes, the braying stopped. The farmer, in curiosity, peered down in the well, and donkey peered back at him, safe, sound, and unburied. The farmer pitched a shovel load of dirt down the shaft and watched as the donkey shook it off and stepped up on top of the new dirt. Every time the farmer and his neighbors threw dirt down the well, the donkey would shake it off and step up until finally the donkey stepped out of the dirt filled well and trotted away. The donkey later came back and bit snout out of the farmer who had tried to bury him alive. The usual moral of the story is to shake off whatever dirt life throws you way and step up and never give up. Hello children. Today I am going to say about the story The Ant and the Grasshopper. Once on a bright Sunday, a grasshopper was singing a song and saw an ant working hard to collect the food. Then Grasshopper said, "Why do you work so hard in summer? Summers are for fun, relaxation and enjoyment. Come on, let's enjoy." But Ant said, "I am collecting food for the winters and I recommend you to do the same." Grasshopper said, "We got plenty of food at present, then why bother about winter?" The ant ignored him and went on its way. When the winter came, Grasshopper had no food to eat. He saw the ant and begged for food. But she said, "When I worked hard, you enjoyed." So, children, the moral of the story is work hard so you can get more benefits tomorrow. Hello students, today I would like to share the story of the boy who cried wolf. Okay, so once upon a time there was a boy who had a duty to look after a flock of sheep. They used to lie for his fun. One day he started shouting, "Wolf, wolf," and hearing this villagers ran towards him for help. The boy who cried wolf. But when the villagers reached, he was laughing on them as there was no wolf. He was lying and making a fool out of the villagers. This continued for some days, and finally, one day a wolf really came and shouted again. Nobody came, and as a result, the boy was killed by the wolf. So, there was no one to blame but him. Here, the moral of the story is never lie, no matter how bad the situation. Good morning students. Today I would like to say the story of the ugly duckling. Here, a long time ago, a farmer had a duck which had 4 eggs. After a few days, all eggs hatched. 3 ducklings looked like their mom and the 4th one is different. It was big and grey. All the ducklings started making fun of him and called him ugly. After some days, the sad duckling ran away from a nearby. Then he saw a beautiful white swan. After seeing their beauty, he wanted to drown in the river. He realized he was not ugly duckling but a beautiful swan. So the moral of the story is you cannot judge a person by outward appearance. Good morning students. Today I would like to say the story of the tailor and the elephant. A tailor ran a shop in a town. A man in the town had a pet elephant. The elephant went drinking at a pool out of the town daily. It passed by the tailor's shop. The tailor gave him a bun every day. In course of time they became good friends and were well pleased to meet each other. The tailor always waited for the elephant to come to him, and elephant was also there at the usual time. One day the tailor had a dispute with one of his customers. He was feeling unhappy. Meanwhile, the elephant arrived and put his trunk into his shop through the window to receive the friendly bun as usual. The tailor, instead of giving a bun, pricked its trunk with a needle. The elephant felt hurt at this but silently went his way to drink. The elephant quenched his thirst and then filled his trunk with dirty, muddy water. It came back quickly, but its trunk in and emptied it. The whole shop looked as if it was plastered with mud. All the fancy dresses and rich wedding robes were mud stained and badly spoiled. The tailor was sad, but it was too late. So the moral of the story is, it is well said, look before you leap. Good morning, students. Today I would like to share the story of the fox and the crow. Once upon a time there was a crow. He had a piece of meat. A hungry fox came there. His mouth watered when he saw the piece of meat. He thought of a plan to get it. He praised the voice of crow. The fox said him to sing a song. When the crow opened his mouth to sing a song, then the piece of meat fell down. So the fox ate it and went away. So the moral of the story is, beware of flattery. Good morning, students. Today I am going to say the new story, The Farmer and the Well. One day a farmer was looking for a water source for his farm when he bought a well from his neighbor. The neighbor, however, was cunning. The next day, as the farmer came to draw water from his well, the neighbor refused to let him take any water. The farmer asked why. The neighbor replied, I sold you the well, not the water, and walked away. Distraught, the farmer went to the emperor to ask for justice. He explained what had happened. The emperor called on Birbal. Birbal proceeded to question the neighbor. Why don't you let the farmer take water from the well? You did sell the well to the farmer. The neighbor replied, Birbal, I did sell the well to the farmer, but not the water within it. He has no right to draw water from the well. Birbal said, look, since you sold the well, you have no right to keep the water in that farmer's well. Either you pay rent to the farmer or take it out immediately. Realizing that his scheme has failed, the neighbor apologized and went home. So the moral of the story is, cheating will not get you anything. If you cheat, you will pay soon. Good morning, students. Today I would like to share the story of Strong or Weak. There was a proud teak tree in the forest. He was tall and strong. There was a small herb next to the tree. The teak tree said, I am very handsome and strong. No one can defeat me. Hearing this, the herb replied, Dear friend, too much pride is harmful. Even the strong will fall one day. The teak ignored the herb's words. He continued to praise himself. A strong wind blew. The teak stood firmly. Even when it rained, the teak stood strong by spreading its leaves. At the same time, the herb bowed low. The teak made fun of the herb. One day there was a storm in the forest. The herb bowed low. As usual, the teak did not want to bow. The storm kept growing stronger. The teak could no longer bear it. He felt his strength giving way. He fell down. This was the end of the proud tree. When everything was calm, the herb stood straight. He looked around. He saw the proud teak tree had fallen. So the moral of the story is, if you feel proud that you are good, don't be too proud of it. Good evening, students. Today I would like to share the story of the two frogs. Once two frogs played near a pot of cream. They decided to look into the pot and fell into it. They could not get out of the pot, so they swam round and round in the cream. One of them is afraid and said, Oh, this is the end of my life. It stopped swimming and sank. But the second frog is brave and clever. He swam and beat the cream with its little feet. The cream became a ball of butter. The frog jumped on the ball of butter and got out of the pot. So the moral of the story is, never give up. Good morning, students. Today I would like to share the story of the fox and the stork. One day a selfish fox invited a stork for dinner. Stork was very happy with the invitation. She reached the fox home on time and knocked at the door with her long beak. The fox took her to dinner table and served some soup in shallow bowls for both of them. As the bowl was too shallow for the stork, she could not have soup at all, but the fox licked up his soup quickly. The stork was angry and upset, but she did not show her anger and behaved politely. To teach a lesson to the fox, she then invited him for dinner the next day. She too served soup, but this time the soup was served in two tall, narrow vases. The stork devoured the soup from her vase, but the fox could not drink any of it because of his narrow neck. The fox realized his mistake and went home famished. So, the moral of the story is a selfish act backfires sooner or later.